What up? What up? Shout out to the chat. This is about to be a good show today. So I was streaming, not streaming, but looking uh, at a couple of videos today, and I saw Mitch Kupchak hold a press conference. He was talking with the media, and he told a story, a true story, by the way, when him, a couple of execs, and LaMelo Ball were eating dinner. LaMelo Ball asked Mitch Kupchak of where he can work out other facilities. And Mitch Kupchak replied and said, "Well, it's kind of late." And then LaMelo Ball reiterated, "I want to work on my game some more. I want to get better. I want to, I want to keep shooting. I want to grind to get better." This is the type of player that I've been telling you about. LaMelo Ball wants to be great. Now, I didn't say this. Mitch Kupchak said this, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because LaMelo Ball has been getting hated on since he was in middle school. He's used to it. So he uses all the hate and negativity as motivation to get better because he was never handed anything. Yes, he grew up in the suburbs. Yes, he has a great father, great parents, great mother. But people fail to forget that none of this came easy for LaMelo Ball. Don't try to listen to the media and the naysayers making it seem like LaMelo Ball was handed the NBA. He was handed fortunes and money. He's earned it. Everything was earned. And when I read the articles, when I seen a video of Mitch Kupchak saying that LaMelo Ball has that dog in him, he has that work ethic, the drive. This is why Michael Jeffrey Jordan drafted LaMelo Ball. Exactly. Shank '02. LaMelo's been playing up his whole life, and it's not easy. There's a lot of high schoolers right now who reclassify down a grade. Still going on right now. LaMelo Ball and a few others are just a couple of people who skip up a grade playing older players their whole life. People forget LaMelo was the youngest player in this draft, next to Anthony Edwards. It's not easy at all. They treat LaMelo Ball like he's a fourth year senior and that they have seen all of his talent and potential. They act like he can't even grow. It's literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen on social media. Let me look at the comments section. Corrupt says, "Let's get it." Yeah, let's get it, bruh. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. B Mill says, "Skip and Shay, they called him spoiled." Yeah, I saw that, man. They were out of pocket for that shit, man. I ain't respect that at all, especially Shannon Sharp, aka Shay Sharp, or whatever he want to call himself. How can LaMelo be spoiled when he has earned everything he's received? That doesn't make no sense to me. He had his ranking taken away from him, his pride taken away from him because the media hated his father and wanted to attack his kids. So how was he spoiled? Just because you got money doesn't mean you're spoiled. There's rich kids who have families. They can't even get their family's wealth until they prove to them that they have the right work ethic. I've seen it before. It happens. Not all rich people are spoiled. That's just, stereotyping right there. Shank02 said we played LaMelo when he was 10, my son was 15. See? LaMelo's been playing up his whole life. Yeah, I've been hearing stories about that. Mr. Jones in the building. Talk to him, DJ. They don't want to hear this real, man. They rather watch Bubba Gump, Shannon Sharp, and old ass Skip Bayless. They don't want to hear the real, man. I'm gonna give you a wrench, Mr. Jones. Since you've been a loyal subscriber, man, you've been supporting me since day one. Shanko2 says Skip got dementia. I don't know what's wrong with Skip, man. He needs to go to a retirement home. He keeps defending Tom Brady, and I respect Tom Brady, but come on, man. You can't keep defending Tom Brady when he's turning over the ball like ain't nobody's business. You got to be objective. I don't like what Skip capping for Brady. I don't like that. I don't respect that at all. Skip is pretty much making up a narrative for Tom Brady messing up. It's the weirdest thing. Shanika Ryan, shout out to the queen, Shanika Ryan. She says, "You see, Shay Shay interviewed LaVar. I guess he needed the ratings." Oh yeah, Shannon Sharp had a jump in ratings since having LaVar Ball in the show. That's why he gave LaVar Ball. You realize he gave LaVar Ball all that time to talk more than other well-known celebrities. He knew those views were coming in. He's not slick, man. And if you look at Shannon Sharp's YouTube channel and Instagram, he got cut-ups of each talking point from LaVar, gaining views on each of them. That was smart. I got to give him credit. Let me see. Shanko2 says, people act like Chino Hills is Beverly Hills. It's not. Yeah, it's not Beverly Hills. Yeah, they over exaggerating, man. I'm sure Eli Scott and the other players on the team didn't come from rich homes. I know the Ball family did, but that's one of the few. It's not Beverly Hills. These people don't know California at all, brother. B Mill says Skip is nuts. Man, Skip is all over the place, man. I don't know what's on Skip's mind. And when he called LaMelo spoiled, I was like, where is he getting his information from? Because that's not what I'm hearing. Again, I'm not a stan. I'm a regular fan. I've criticized the Ball Bros before. I've given them props before. But I can't take the delusion that's being spread through this media, man. It's crazy. They're literally making up agendas to go against those kids, man. It's the weirdest thing, bro. Shanko2 said he's a Clippers fan. What can you accept? Man, Skip is a fan of anybody who is going against LeBron. That's all that is, man. He's obsessed with LeBron. But yeah, back to my talking point. Through everything I've read in social media and looked at, LaMelo Ball is taking it seriously, not just for himself, but his family, his legacy. And I believe in LaMelo Ball, not just because of flashy handles, behind the back passes, and he's just putting on a show. Not just because of that. His mindset. His mindset is to take what's his. And I'm really not trying to compare the brothers, but I gotta say this. Could you imagine if Lonzo had LaMelo's mindset as a rookie? because I told myself that if I was Lonzo, I wouldn't be so passive with selfish teammates. When he's with the Lakers, he played with selfish teammates. Now with the Pelicans, he's playing with selfish teammates. And I'm not putting Bi in that category because Bi is a good friend to Lonzo. Bi has always looked out for Lonzo Ball. But you know what's the sad part is? Michael Jordan and Mitch Kupchak is doing more for LaMelo Ball than the Buss family has done for Lonzo when he was with the Lakers. It's not even close, man. We talked about this yesterday. I'm going in deep with this. It's sad. I'm looking at the pieces that the Hornets acquiring. Yes, they overpaid, but they want to surround LaMelo Ball with the best type of talent he could have his rookie year so he doesn't have to do everything and stress himself out. Lonzo's one of the few number 2 overall picks. He never got any players that matched with him. He never had players built around him. Didn't have the keys to the franchise. How are you going to get a player at number 2 overall? You don't see what he has. I truly believe Luke Walton was so mad at LaVar that he tried to do everything he could to ruin the confidence of Lonzo Ball. Putting him in games, taking him out, putting him in, taking him out, not letting him be a point guard, have him standing in the corner. And I told the Sacramento King fans that Luke Walton is a trash coach. They didn't believe me until this season. Now they're telling me, you know what, DJ, you're right. Luke Walton sucks. And I was telling them, I told you guys, hey, make sure y'all hit the like button. I'm going to give Shanko too. I'm going to give you a wrench. You guys make sure have everybody hit the like button so we can stay on this live more. But let me go on what I was saying. Luke Walton is a below 500 coach. Alvin Gentry is a below 500 coach. And you see the results. You cannot win in the NBA with bad coaches. Yes, it's a players' league and players got to produce. But you can never win in the NBA with bad coaches or coaches who put you on lease. If you're going to be a bad coach, allow your point guard to get the keys to the franchise. Don't have them sitting around giving the ball to ball hogs and expecting good results. It's never going to happen. In today's NBA, you got to have precise ball movement or you're not going to win that much games. Shanko 2 says LaVar went to high school AAU games with 12-year-olds and only had 6 kids on the team, would win with no subs. Oh, yeah, that's dope. And Shank '02 is from that area, so he knows what he's talking about. Shanika Ryan says, do you think LaVar... Wait, let me see. Shanika Ryan says, do you think LaVar reminds Jordan of his father, meaning how he's in their life and motivates them to be the best? I think Jordan already knows LaVar is a good father. Again, it's important to not listen to the media rhetoric. This LaVar versus Jordan. It's not as real as what people think. I don't think Jordan takes LaVar seriously, but because come on now, LaVar would never beat Michael Jordan. That's just a fact. So he's not taking that seriously. LaVar thinks he could beat anybody. LaVar thinks he could beat his kids in basketball, and you know that's not true. So I think LaVar respects his fatherhood, respects his ruling class mentality because Michael Jordan himself has a ruling class mentality. So game recognized game, man. Power recognize power. That's all it is. All that media scrutiny and bullshit you see on TV is not real. It's like the freaking Matrix. None of what you see on TV is real. Everything's scripted. The script for ESPN, every time LaVar is on, is to shit on LaVar. But you see, when LaVar is on a real show with a real host who's genuine, makes him feel at home, you see a better interview and you see the real LaVar. So yeah, I think Jordan respects his son. He respects his family. And I know the fact that Jordan loves how LaMelo is already working on his game without being told. Basketball is life to LaMelo Ball. Let me repeat this. Basketball is life to LaMelo Ball. I've heard this from trainers of his. I've heard this from media people that truly know them. This is not a front. LaMelo lives for this shit, man. He lives for it, man. I'm not trying to cap. I'm just keeping it real with y'all, man. LaMelo lives for this shit. Let me keep reading the comments. Joaquin Lipe, hey, what's up? Yes, sir. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, liking and sharing the content. It's appreciated. Shanika Ryan says, right, I don't think he took it that way either. No, he didn't take it seriously. No way at all. Jordan never took that shit seriously. I don't know what Jordan is thinking, but I just know how people who have a ruling class mind thinks. Jordan, his main focus is to get that bread. And with LaMelo Ball, Michael Jordan, out of all owners, have hit the jackpot. He's gonna receive so much money in Jordan just because he drafted LaMelo Ball. What have I always called LaMelo Ball? He's the damn stimulus package. He's going to have Charlotte rocking, merchandise bought up to the max. If you go on to the Charlotte Hornets website, his jerseys are already sold out. And it's a freaking pre-order. Only LaMelo Ball in this draft could do something like that. Or any draft. Shanko2 says Jordan is not paying attention to jokes, LaVar said. That is all media for ratings. So true, my brother. Jordan ain't paying attention to that shit, man. He's worried about getting money. When you're a boss, you're worried about trying to make more money than the next man. That's why I respect Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan don't give a shit about any of the buffoonish things that are out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even watch that much TV. Hold up. I got to have a shout out. Shout out to my brother, Hoop Jargon. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, my H-Town brother. I mean, he's one of the real ones on YouTube. Man, I got to have you on the show some of these times, man. I'm going to give you a wrench, my brother. You're now a moderator. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Mr. Jones says, if Zoe had LaMelo's mindset, he would be a killer. True. I believe that. I truly believe that. If Lonzo had LaMelo's mindset, no matter if he had the injuries or no offseason, the games he would play, he would go out swinging. He would go out swinging, man. He wouldn't let Luke Walton ruin his career. I tell you that for sure. He would never let him ruin his career at all if Lonzo had LaMelo's mindset. Let me keep reading these comments. Shanko2 says, if there is any chance to get all ball bros on the team, Jordan will be one on the market for it. Yeah. Here's the thing about Jordan. Jordan will work with you if you give him what he wants. What he wants is a lot of money for his organization and some type of image. So if LaMelo does his part and becomes a player that we all think he could be, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Jello a two-way contract, let him work in the G League and earn it, and then eventually be in the NBA roster. And then let's say Lonzo's contract is up, they could get Lonzo on an affordable deal. I wouldn't be surprised. But again, LaMelo's got to do his part. But also, Jello has got to work on his game. See, it's not just his brothers getting him to the NBA. Jello got to want to be in the NBA. I'm sure he wants to be in the NBA, but is he working to want to be in the NBA? I think he's working hard, but I'm not in there behind the scenes and seeing how LiAngelo is doing. So I don't know, but we all know that LiAngelo's the best shooter out of all his brothers. But he's got to do more than shooter. He's got to defend. If LiAngelo can defend a lot better than he did in the past, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the NBA. Again, I don't count any of these young players out. And I give LiAngelo props. At least he has made it to the G League. You know, you got some people who talk about the Ball family that have been cut by the G League, and that's never happened to LiAngelo. So I'm giving him props for that. Shanika Ryan says Jordan picked the best. Yes, he did. Michael Jordan picked the best player in the draft potentially, because I like Anthony Edwards. Don't get me wrong. But potentially, LaMelo has the most potential in this draft. It's not even close. I've said it millions of times that LaMelo Ball has the most untapped potential out of anybody in that draft. There's so many things he could work on, so many things he needs to improve on. He's not even reaching the tip of his potential. Michael Jordan, one thing about him, he's not emotional. Steve Kerr is emotional. Even though Klay Thompson had an injury, common sense will tell you that the Warriors need another guard because you don't know how Klay Thompson will come back. This is another serious injury he's had. And to my knowledge, when you have multiple injuries, there's a good chance that you won't be the player that you used to be. Still, the Warriors selected James Wiseman. Now, I respect the brother James Wiseman, but come on, man, you're missing a guard, and Klay Thompson, you might as well get a young guard. But they didn't do it, and the truth is, I had a homie. He lives outside of the Oakland area, the Bay Area. He knows some cats up in there, scouts. What he has told me is that Steve Kerr wanted nothing to do with the Ball family. He was mad at LaVar for calling him the Milli Vanilli of coaching. He took it personal. And you see, this is the reason why Michael Jordan two-piece Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is a wimp. He's emotional. And this is why logic is over emotion when you're in the NBA. If I'm an NBA owner and I'm hiring GMs and coaches, I don't want them being emotional. Because if you're emotional, that means when things are going bad, you're not going to ride for my team. Steve Kerr took it personal. And that's why he didn't draft LaMelo Ball. But salute to James Wiseman. I hope he has a great year because a lot of shines have been hating on James Wiseman at every 2020 draft prospect. I get it. The 2021 draft year is going to be amazing. I can say that. But it doesn't diminish Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball, and many other great talent on this draft as well. They didn't have a March Madness. COVID-19 came along and ruined everything. So you really can't tell how good this class is until you see it on the court. I'm going to read some more of these comments. Let me go. Hoop Dragon said, I'm down. Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. You're a real one, man. Salute to my H-Town brother Hoop Jargon. Subscribe to his channel. I'm telling you, man, y'all missing out. The brother has amazing content. Mr. Jones says, I want Luke Walton to chase Buddy Hill to Boston. Hey, Mr. Jones, man, knowing you as a Boston fan, don't be surprised if Luke Walton does something stupid like that. See, if I was Luke Walton, I would never trade a shooter like Buddy Hield. But since Buddy Hield is outspoken and doesn't shy away of speaking his mind, Luke Walton may take that personal and trade him. I dare the Kings to trade Buddy Hield to Boston. I dare them. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that because Luke Walton is very emotional and he's definitely not fit to be a head coach. Lawrence Roberts Jr. was shout out to my guy Lawrence Roberts. He says, "Good afternoon. In my opinion, Michael Jordan is like a modern day Frank Lucas, fused with the power of a tyrant who rules with the iron foot fist." Yeah, man. And I know you're saying it in a positive way. You got to have that to be a boss. You cannot be a wimp as a boss at all, especially in the NBA. You got to have that ruling class mentality because if you don't, players are going to run you over, agents are going to run you over, coaches are going to run you over. You got to put the fist down and say, hey, we taking this player no matter what. And that's why I respect Michael Jordan. Shout out to Team Super Team VIP, a real one, a moderator, a day one person, man. Shout out to the brother Super Team VIP. Shanko2 says people can hate all they want, but Jello is the best shooter hands down. Yes, Jello is the best shooter. You know, we can't rule out Jello, man. Let him work on his game. Let him earn it. Never rule these kids out, man. Let them have a chance. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Jello gonna be a star or anything, but you can't rule out these kids, man, unless they show you that they're not worthy of it. So let them work into the NBA. If Jello makes the NBA, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot of shines making excuses. Oh, he only got it in because of his brothers. Watch. I'm telling y'all, you know how these shines do. Hoop Jargon says, I think it's coming together now. If for nothing else, it's going to be good for business to bring the Ball brothers in, just like we see with Alex and Thanis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, I can see that, brother. B Mill says floor is Lonzo for Melo. The ceiling is Pistol Pete. Um, Here's my floor for LaMelo. The floor for LaMelo is Jason Williams, and the ceiling is less athletic. I wouldn't say less athletic because LaMelo has added some athleticism. So I say the ceiling for LaMelo Ball is an adequate athletic Penny Hardaway. Like he's a normal athletic version of Penny Hardaway. So he won't have the extreme athleticism of Penny, but he'll have the flash, the creativity, the amazing plays like Penny Hardaway. That's what I believe. But the Pistol Pete comparison is also spot on. Can't go wrong with either. Shanko2 says, how much you heard of pick one of two? The only pick in the media is three. Melo sells tickets. Yep. That's all they talk about is LaMelo Ball, LaMelo this. Is LaMelo going to be rookie of the year? Is LaMelo going to do this or do that? LaMelo is being treated like the number one overall pick. I've never seen this before, where the number three overall pick is being talked about, good or bad, by the media. It's the weirdest thing I ever seen. I'm trying to remember when the last time I've seen this. I don't remember at all. Maybe Carmelo Carmelo was more talked about than Darko Milicic that was picked ahead of him, but not to this level. This is like you would think that LaMelo's the number one overall pick of this whole draft. Mr. Jones says the stimulus package. Yes, indeed. That's the nickname for LaMelo. The stimulus package. He fixing everything, man. Jerseys, arena sales, merchandise, you name it. The motherfucking stimulus package. Don't forget that name. Hoop Jargon says they can technically move Wiggins to shooting guard and Pascal to the three. Yeah, they could do that. The reason why I'm not tripped off by the Warriors not selecting LaMelo Ball, they have adjusted their roster. They have added Wiseman, a big that they have never had of that ilk, of 7'1" big man that could shoot. Yeah, they never had that before. And then you add Wiggins and Kelly Oubre. So it'll be Steph Curry, Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, Draymond Green, and Wiseman. That will be the roster. And that's a solid roster, I cannot lie. Shanko2 says Steve K fits Golden State. Yep. Perfect team for him. Super Team VIP says, I believe Jello has been working his butt off and he is just itching for a shot to play and prove he's NBA worthy. Yeah, he's waiting on that opportunity. He's been working out from the videos I've seen. He looks a lot improved. That knee surgery that Jello had was very important. Can't wait to see his progress, by the way. Super Team VIP also replied, COVID-19 sucks. Never could have imagined what this has done to our country. Yeah, it sucks. But I'm going to be honest with you all. America has seen worse from segregation, racism, uh, Great Depression. Uh, the number one overall thing is slavery. So I can't be one of those people saying that COVID-19 this year is the worst year of all time. I can't say when we had slavery and other things keeping brothers and sisters in bondage. But yeah, COVID-19 sucks for this year, but it is not the worst year of all time. Joaquin says he's cut from a different cloth than Steve Kerr. Yes, Michael Jordan just is a man. That's who he is. Unlike Steve Kerr, I don't know. Steve Kerr's just a beta male to me, so I never take what he says seriously. Shanika Ryan says Jello will be ready when he gets that call. He'll make a name for himself. I hope so, Shanika. You know, we praying for Jello, man. The media really did LiAngelo Ball dirty. They treated him like a thug. They disrespected him. Before the China incident, Jello has never gotten in trouble. Jello has always been respected. But that's the media for you. They paint our brothers and sisters in a negative light. They're disrespectful to our sisters, our brothers. So I'm not surprised anymore about how they use dirty tactics in the media. Shanko too says Lonzo the same way. Yep. Yeah, Shanko too, you're right. When Lonzo was drafted, you would have thought he was the number one overall pick. Markel Fultz was in the bust conversation, didn't play that much. And he got protected by Lonzo in a way because the media was so fixated with hating on Lonzo Ball that they barely gave Markel Fultz criticism. Markel Fultz is the only bust I've ever seen. Now, he's gotten better. I wouldn't say he's a bust now, but starting out, he was a bust. Markel Fultz was the only number one pick who didn't pan out at first to never get criticized. I can't remember that ever happening. I've said this. I've constantly said this before. Markel Fultz better thank Lonzo Ball because if Lonzo Ball wasn't in that draft, Markel Fultz would have gotten so much hatred that he probably would have gone through depression. I'm serious. It would have been that bad. The brother Hoop Jargon said in 2018, you're not going to really see what Jello is until he's 22, 21, 22, which would be him as a senior in UCLA. He's gotten into his real groove. You called it Hoop Jargon. Hoop Jargon was one of the first people to say that age 22, 21, 22, you'll see the best of Jello. He said that then, and he's kind of right now. Jello looks a lot better. If we would have seen this Jello starting out, he probably would have been drafted. No lie. I mean, he's moving quick for his size. He's stronger. He got a little handle now. I've never seen that in Jello until recently. Mr. Jones says facts. Look at Giannis's brothers. Yeah, that's true. Shanko 2 says Fultz should thank Lonzo. Yeah, Fultz need to thank Lonzo for even being drafted that same year as him. Because in the history of the NBA, Markelle Fultz is the least criticized number one pick of all time. I don't care what anyone says. Nobody criticized it. Only a few people criticized him, and it wasn't as bad as Lonzo and anybody else. Or Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. needs to thank Lonzo as well. He has not been getting criticized. They formed all their hatred, the media did, onto Lonzo instead of players who have played worse than him. Shoot, if Markel Fultz would average his rookie year, right? 12, 7, and 6, right? Like Lonzo, they would have said, Markel Fultz has been through some things. Give him time. They would have told Markel Fultz that. They would have said Markel Fultz had unfair treatment and defended him. But they didn't do it for Lonzo. They were very unfair. I get it. Lonzo needs to work on his offensive repertoire. He's working with that with Clutch Sports. Shout out to Clutch Sports. They got him right. I'm telling you right now, man, if Lonzo does what I think he should do, what he's been showing on these workouts, man, I'm telling you, teams are going to be calling for him. All right, Mr. Jones says the older brother isn't all that, and he was given a shot off the strength. Let's see. Joaquin Lipe says a lot of people trash talk about LaMelo's shot, but he's been working on it a lot this past year. Look at how much better it is. True. LaMelo's shot has gotten better. It keeps getting better every time. So he's been working on it. That's why I'm not worried about LaMelo Ball. He's a worker. And the city of Charlotte, that's why they're so excited about LaMelo Ball. They're not idiots. Charlotte pays attention to media. They look at articles. They know how much work LaMelo Ball has been putting in. And they know that he wants to be great. And Charlotte has never had that since, Larry Johnson. Shout out to Larry Johnson, Texas legend. He went to Skyline High School in Dallas. McDonald's All-American, went to UNLV. They haven't had that since then. Can you imagine if the Charlotte Hornets even barely makes the playoffs with this young team? Boy, the haters wouldn't have anything to say if that happens. Ray Vortex, shout out to Ray Vortex. He says Jello would be on the NBA team. I can't believe haters still doubting him. They doubt Jello because he's not a flashy player. If Jello was a player with handles and creativity and just the gift of putting on a show, they wouldn't hate on him. But he's a throwback player. He posts up a lot. So they don't see Jello like most basketball experts see Jello. Shanko 2 says Jello release is similar to Clay. Yeah, that release is beautiful, man. Jello's release on the ball is just automatic. His only problem, Jello's only problem, and he may have to work on this, and I peeped this out. If you realize Jello starts at the lower level when he's about to pick up the ball. And when you're when people train shooters, you're supposed to hold it up from chest to neck area before you release. And what defenders do in the NBA is when you're about to when you're about to pull that ball up to set up for your form shot, they sit on the lower level so they can steal the ball. So Jello has to work on that, but he's working on this game. I'm not worried about that. Oh, Hoop Jargon said add Frank Ntilikina to that not criticism group. Oh man, I should have been saying his name. You're right, Hoop Jargon. Frank Ntilikina has a fan base that defends him no matter what, and he can't score for shit. Man, Lonzo has really helped some players avoid criticism. 3 players I listed, and I could go more than that, but it'll be all day. Team VIP says LaMelo is very confident in shooting, which is great. He just needs to pick the ball better shots. Yeah, he's gotta LaMelo's gotta fix on his shot selection. In the NBL, I remember I criticized LaMelo Ball for shooting unnecessary shots. I'm like, I mean, if a team is sagging off on you, you need to take it to the hole. Now he could take it to the hole, but here's the problem with LaMelo. When he makes 2 threes back to back, he want to take like a large amount of threes, and where he could just mix his game up some more. And you look at the stat sheet, you'll see LaMelo having 20 plus points, but you'll also see that LaMelo shot 5 for 15 for 3. That's where his 3-point percentage comes from, is from bad shot selection. If LaMelo Ball had a better shot selection in the NBL, his 3-point shooting percentage would be in the 33-34 range, which is okay. But it would be a lot better. No one talks about that. Shanko 2 says Fultz's shot looks worse than Lonzo. True. It's horrible. It's freaking horrible. But the haters won't talk about it. He's not Lonzo Ball, so they avoid him with criticism. Joaquin Lipe says the one thing that always been weird to me about LaMelo is highlights always make him look like a great shooter when he maybe has never been that great, but he has the Steph Curry mentality. That is also true. I've always seen LaMelo Ball as a streaky shooter, even when he was young. I remember people were saying that LaMelo used to be a really great shooter, like Steph Curry, and I didn't believe that at all. Yes, he could shoot the long range shot time to time, but he has never been a consistent 3-point shooter like his brother Jello. That's not true right there. Again, that's all media. You know, they paint a player how they want to paint a player, I guess. Joaquin Lipe says the most interesting thing about LaMelo this year is how well he is going to shoot it. I'm not worried about other things as much. I think LaMelo will shoot better. I think he will have better shot selection. He got shooters around him. What LaMelo has to do, he's got to realize you could still get your stats and points, even though you don't shoot the shots you want to shoot. He's got to use more IQ plays on the shot selection. And we know that LaMelo's smart, but he's just gotta take proper shots in the NBA. True the King TV. Shout out to the brother True the King TV. He be on the brother's FYS Sports Debates channel. He holds his own. He represents logic over emotion. Make sure you subscribe to True the King. He's a real one. And that's what I respect about True the King, man. He could go on all these channels and he holds his own, man. And I respect any brother that does that. I'm gonna give you a wrench, brother. Just how much I respect you, I'm gonna give you a wrench. You know, in my channel, we show love here, man. It's important to show love to everybody because we got so much time to live on this world. We gotta live life to the fullest, man. Gots to. Let me see. Shout out to Orlando Magic Nation. Orlando Magic Nation, I like your team, man. I think the Orlando Magic is one of the most underrated teams in the East. They got a lot of length. They got Aaron Gordon, Markel Fultz. Even though we talked about his rookie year being not so good, Markel Fultz has improved, and that helps the Orlando Magic big time. I like their draft selection of Cole Anthony. That's a steal at that range. Cole Anthony, no matter what you say about him, he has a lot of drive to him and he has a lot of fight. Can't wait to see how the Orlando Magic performs. Joaquin Felipe says the big thing about Jello is how well he's able to move his feet on defense. Yeah, he's improved on that area. We'll see. I can't wait for him to play in something. I don't care if it's G League or what. I just want to see Jello play. See, I'm not too picky. We got some people saying, "Oh, he don't need to be in a G League." Jello hasn't played in 2 years. He's got to get that rust out. I don't care how much he's improved in workouts. We got to use some common sense in here, man. Gots to, man. Shanko too. Yeah, you're right, bro. People understood his shot selection and shot form. Agreed. They don't know the difference between the two. This is why I don't take people seriously, man. It's a difference, man. Shot selection and shots form. There's a difference between the two. All LaMelo has to do is have better shot selection, and he'll make more shots. It's really that easy. Hoop Jargon says LaMelo is going to be crazy good, man. People forget he was moved up by LaVar to play with his brothers. He should have been a college freshman right now. And he has shown he can adapt at a higher level quick. Yep. One thing that LaMelo Ball is not getting the credit for is skipping up a grade. If just imagine if he played in USC right now with Evan Mobley. Can you imagine the points and stats he would average? These same shines talking about, oh, LaMelo wouldn't be a top 3 pick in the 2021 class. You mean to tell me if a 6'7" point guard in college right now averages almost a triple double, putting up numbers in the Pac-12, he won't be a top 3 pick? Don't worry, I'll wait. You lying to yourself if you don't think LaMelo will be a top 3 or top 5 pick, even that, in next year's draft. If he did that at USC. Shanko 2 says Melo has not played with this type of talent since Chino Hills. His shot will be fine after working with JJ. True. Man, shout out to JJ, man. Jermaine Jackson. He has really came into LaMelo's life at the right time and have given him life, given him a new way to elevate his game. And LaVar always speaks glowing of JJ because Jermaine Jackson is a real one. He's from the hood of Detroit, so he's not a phony. He's played in the NBA. He knows about this life, man. And that's what you need in your team. You need some dogs around you, man. Uh, Even though LaMelo is California raised, LaMelo is Detroit stamped. So much so, it seems like Detroit's like a second home for LaMelo Ball. LaMelo has added more toughness, swagger. It's weird. He's developed a hood mentality for being around Jermaine Jackson in a good way. When people watch Lonzo play, they assume LaMelo's going to get pushed around. I'm telling you right now, LaMelo is not that one to play with, man. This dude will scrap if you try to put hands on him. Don't take my word for it. Look at the videos. Joaquin Felipe says, bro, where are we going to find these preseason games for the Hornets? And you got to get that NBA League Pass, brother. You know, things cost. You got to, if you want to see a good show, you got to pay for it. I learned that the hard way. Hoop Jargon says, boys just be talking, man. I love DKM's list of those 20 cats ranked over LaMelo for 2 years. Proof is in the pudding. Oh, yeah, that check out DKM's latest video. The players who were ranked higher than LaMelo in high school, where are they now? Because he exposed everything in the draft list, and everything shows you that LaMelo Ball in high school was blackballed. You can't tell me a tall point guard almost averaging the triple-double is number 21, 26 in the nation in high school. They try to disrespect that brand, but he's the one that got drafted higher. So revenge is sweet. I love it. I love it, man. Shanko 2 says, JJ the best thing LaVar did for LaMelo. Yes, he was. The greatest gift LaVar gave to LaMelo is finding JJ to be in LaMelo's life. Every interview I hear LaMelo has, he brings up Jermaine Jackson every time. Jermaine Jackson is always there for LaMelo, man. And everybody needs that type of masculine energy, because that's what these boys in the world are missing. Masculine energy. They're being emasculated. If LaVar was a single mother, and shout out to the real single mothers who support their kids. So this ain't to you sisters, but these are for the single mothers who don't treat their kids well. Imagine if LaVar was a single mother who was loud. She going to do. She gets around. A horrible mother. They will say, oh, let's say this person's LaVara. They'll say, LaVara is a great person. She's just loud because she cares for her kids. That would be the narrative if LaVar was a single mother. Oh, look how great LaVara was embarrassing her kids. More mothers need to do that. They will say these things. They'll say, look how LaVara just cussed out her son. That's great parenting. These shines will eat that up, man. Or they will say, LaVara is a strong woman because she doesn't settle down for a man. I'm telling you, that's what media would have said if LaVar was a single mother. Boy, the comment section is on one, man. You guys are funny. Joaquin says, JJ the GOAT. JJ's the real deal. I respect him. The hip hop analyst, shout out to the hip hop analyst. He said Melo's gonna be big, fast game, first game. Oh yeah, LaMelo is bringing on a show, man. Corrupt says Kenyon Martin took an L. He sure did. And I got nothing against KJ Martin. KJ Martin was a 3-star and he got drafted in the second round. That's a big accomplishment. But Kenyon Martin did say LaMelo Ball would never get drafted. He did say that. So any shines that said he never said that, My subs will tell me, and they will look up this information. Kenyon Martin, Steven Jackson, and Matt Barnes once said that LaMelo Ball would never make the NBA. This is a fact. They have said that LaVar Ball has ruined any chance for LaMelo to ever get drafted. He ruined his life. This is all I've heard this whole time before LaMelo was drafted. Joaquin Lipe says, you think LaMelo is going to have his own signature Puma debut in the first game? We'll see what happens. I can't predict with Puma. Kenyon Martin took a fat L. Oh wow, man. Hoop Jargon says, man, you know the game. Give single mothers all the praise of the world. Shit is crazy, man. It's crazy. The media is anti-father. I mean, they don't want to talk about the story of the father being in their kids' lives and teaching them the way to manhood. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about the story of the single mother that's barely paying her bills. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Not a funny story, but a weird story. There was a player from Auburn. I need to remember his name. That got that put his name in the draft. He was not ready. He did it because his mother couldn't find a job or wasn't looking for a job. I don't know, but she couldn't find a job. So he wanted to stay in college, but his mother forced him to be in the draft. Guess what happened to him? He was never drafted. And before the draft, I remember ESPN was talking about um, how honorable this young man was for not going to college anymore, just so his mother could get money. I tell you one thing: if this was a father, and this father told his son, "You need to go to the draft to help your family out," the media would have ridiculed the father. I guarantee. But that's that media narrative I've been telling y'all about. YouTube is the new thing, man. YouTube is the new breed. These content creators are showing you that you do not need ESPN to bring in that raw and cut truth. You could go to my channel. You could go to Ball Facts. You could go to FYS Sports Debate. You could go to DKM. You could go to the Brother Hoop Jargon's channel. You could go to Jay Strokes. You could go to many others and not deal with the bullshit that they've been spewing to the media. We got to bring that masculine energy back. And it's not just for the sons, it's for the daughters too. Because the daughter who grows up without a father doesn't know how to love a man. She's in the streets. She's tricking around. You know how many women I've been around, talked to, who said their life would be different if they had a father that believed in them, that had that masculine energy? They're trying to take fatherhood away, and it's hurting the kids. And don't let me get started by ESPN. ESPN has been laying off well-respected men and women. And they got the nerve to tell someone who has the higher moral ground. It's pathetic. They laid off 600 people. And they got the nerve to tell us how to feel as people. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's why I don't trust ESPN. That's why I don't trust Fox Sports. They're not for the people, man. I may go in there and listen to woes and stuff, but I'm not watching their stuff all day. I'm not. Just watch how the media does with LaMelo Ball. If LaMelo Ball has an off game, they're going to make fun of him. They're going to say, oh, he's not it. but he'll play a bad game against the Clippers or the Lakers, a top team. They'll say, "Look here, LaVar was wrong," but they'll miss out on the game where he had 25 points against another team. Oh, but he didn't do it against the Lakers. This is what the media would do. I'm calling it already. I was preaching too early. I'm sorry about that. I had to preach on that one, man. The media, man, they playing these games. I'm glad that people are waking up to it. We don't need the media. We could create our own lane here. We support our own. Shit, that's why you don't see me putting money on ESPN. I don't buy any subscription from ESPN or Fox Sports. Why do I need to waste my money on that shit when I could get this shit on YouTube and listen to some real brothers? I'm all about real, man. That's all I'm about. I don't need to, ESPN Plus, buy a subscription. I ain't buying that shit. Saul Stano says, hit that like button for DJ. Yes. Support from the brother. Saul Stanos, for that, I'm giving you a wrench. I like that respect, man. I like that, man. You just became a moderator. Thank you for the support, my brother. Gotta read some more of these comments, man. Y'all keeping it coming, man. I respect that, man. All love, all praise to the Most High. Okay. Joaquin Phoenix said his boy damn near got left out the draft. Yep. KJ Martin. I think KJ Martin was given a favor by the Rockets. The Martin family they're very well respected in Texas, and I could see them doing a favor. Hey, you can get my son in the second round. This is nothing against KJ. KJ got a lot of athleticism, but there were a lot of players that could have been